Hello, my lords and ladies, and welcome to part 4 of our painting series on the Goblin Rock Lobber from Warhammer, the Old World, old school metal miniatures. Amazing. So happy to be painting this for everybody. First off, I want to say thank you all to my YouTube members. You guys are absolutely amazing. Thank you for your donations. You will get early access to this, as all the YouTube members do. If you are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Think about becoming a member to get all early access and to help support the channel. Hit that thumbs up, hit the bell so you get alerted whenever we go live with a new video. But without further ado, this one's pretty easy. Let's go. Alright, first off, after you have to build your miniature with some super glue, it is an absolute pain with these metal ones. I can understand why they got away from them, but the feeling is awesome. Spray paint it all in black and then white from above to create that zenithal highlighting. We're then using some gut Rippa Flesh on here. So all of our areas. Now keep your gut Rippa Flesh out because you're going to miss a spot inherently. I always do, so it is what it is. If you do need anything, you can always check that description below. I do link everything that I use. It does help the channel just a fraction of a penny at a time. But yeah, so go over all of those green skin areas. Alright, for our little towel that are covering our areas of our goblins, we're going to use some Snakebite Leather. I did thin this with a little bit of Lamia Medium, so I put it on my wet palette, put a little bit of Lamia Medium in there. It just goes on a little bit smoother, and it lets that white stick through, and that's kind of what we're going for. Let the white undercoat work for you, meaning it gives you that natural highlight, and it is very pleasant, in my opinion. I'm doing the same thing with this. I'm taking some Wyldwood, I'm putting a little bit of Lamia Medium in it on my wet palette. You can also use a little bit of water if you would like, if you don't have Lamia Medium or Contrast Medium or any type of medium for that. But we are putting that on to the top of our goblin's head. There's a little hat. For little gauntlets and ankle gauntlets, The fur-looking ones, we're just using some Gore-Grunta Fur. Straight out of the pot, not thinning anything. You can thin it if you would like, but I am not. For the little wraps on the ankles, I think there's one on the hand. On the top one, we're going to use some Skeleton Horde. Again, let that white stick through and work for you on this miniature. Alright, for the hair, we're going to do a thinned down version of Sigor Brown. So I'm putting a little bit of Lamia Medium on my wet palette and put some of that Sigor Brown, and we're using that on the top of the hair. Pretty simple on that, but keep your Sigor Brown out here for just a second. For the lever, we're going to use some straight up Sigor Brown. Straight out of the pot, you want it to be dark, and that's what we're going to end up painting the last portion of this miniature with, the rock lobber itself. So we are already on to that. Alright, for our teeth and our claws, and then the teeth on the skull that our goblin is standing on, I don't know what that is. If someone can please explain to me what that is. I was looking at pictures. I don't know what it is. Some type of, obviously, creature from the Warhammer Old World realm, I'm assuming, but I couldn't find anything. So, there's teeth on there. We were painting that, and that's basically all we're doing. Again, we are thinning with a little bit of Lamia Medium with this Basilicanum Grey, and we're painting that skull or head or whatever it is with this color. Let that white stick through and let it work for you. For the tongue, we're going to do just a little bit of Volupus Pink. Pretty simple. And then we are doing some Retributor armor on the earring for the second to last base color. And then finally, I painted the rivets on that, but I think that entire thing is supposed to be metal. I'm not exactly sure, but I just painted the rivets and then the top part ring in Leadbelcher. Alright, we are doing 2 washes and 2 washes only. The first, for all of the green skin, we're going to be doing some Athnian Camoshade. Pretty simple, so get all of that everywhere. And then for the claws, the teeth, you can put some on the wraps if you would like. Is going to be some Agrax Earthshade that you will see in this next shot. It's not necessary, but you can if you would like. Alright, once your washes are all completely dry, we're going to be starting with some Elysian Green. And we're just going over all of our raised areas, so the nose, the cheek area, the eyes, or under the eyes. And we are going under, or on top of the ears, looking at those muscles. And feetsies on top of those thigh muscles, you know, the whole area. Don't get anything in the recesses, and just make it look, or put as many coats on as you would like. Once you're satisfied with that Elysium, we're going to do some 50-50 of Nurgling and Elysium, and we're just going to go over those same exact areas, building up the highlights. And then finally, we're going to do some pure Nurgling over those same areas. So a little bit on the nose, underneath the eye, a little bit on the chin, the thighs, muscles, hands, and whatnot. And then we're going to do one final area with some Ogre and Camo that you'll see here in a second. Alright, we're using kind of a glaze right here, so very thin down with water. It's going to be very, very runny, and we're just kind of putting some Ogre and Camo on there, some of the raised areas, just to give it a little bit of that Ogre and Camo brightness. Alright, working on all those claws, teeth, and feet claws. We are going to do a reapplication of Morghast Bone real quick. You don't need to get the whole thing. You want to keep some of that wash in there in the recesses, but yeah, you can throw that on there. And then to spice them up just a little bit more, we're going to do some Screaming Skull on there as well to brighten them up and make them look even more gruesome and gross. Again, we're going to create like a little bit of a glaze, so very, very watered down, and we're just going to do some of the raised areas on that cloth. Now, it's going to look a little bit bright when you put it on to begin with, but trust me, when it dries, it will just be very subtle. Alright, to go with our theme of what we were doing with the Goblin Rock Lobber itself, we're going to do some straight Gorthor Brown on to the lever itself. Try to be cognizant of where you put it, so just very light, very subtle. Don't overdo it. For the silver pieces, we are going to do some quick Runefang Steel, nothing too crazy. And then for the tongue, we're going to do some straight pink Horde. Alright, coming down to the wire here, we're going to work on that base, and if you've been watching this channel, we kind of do the same thing for a lot of our bases, and we're going to put some Aggaros Dunes over that white Stirland Mud we had put on there originally. I forgot to mention that. That is my fault. Take full responsibility for that, and that white will stick through, and it will look fantastic. And then your favorite part of painting the miniature, because it means you're dumb, is the rim of the base, and we're doing some Elysian Drab to match the rest of our army that we were building for the old world. And that is it. That's all she wrote. That is part 4. We got one more part left in this little mini series that we're doing on this Goblin Rock Lobber. Hope you've enjoyed it so far. If you have, please leave me a comment. Give me a thumbs up. Give whatever you can to support the channel. We're trying to build this thing as far as we can go. But I want to say thank you again to all the YouTube subscribers. You guys are absolutely amazing. Can't thank you guys enough. If you are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button or don't. Just watch it. Whatever you want to do. Just tell your friends. Post it on Reddit. That would be awesome. But we greatly appreciate any and all support that we get on this very small channel that we have on here. So I love you all, and I will see you on the next one. All right, paint's on here.